Okay, so we've gone back to the quad screen, and you can see, because we've changed the names of the cameras now, camera 1 we call door. You can see the bottom left of that particular segment. And if you go over to channel 2, which obviously for demos we don't have a camera on there, but you can see it's saying side as we predefined earlier. Let's have a look at the network configuration now. So we right click, down to main menu, and along the setup config we've got network. So this is basically giving us our IP, our internet protocol, port configuration, DDNS setup, email, peer-to-peer configuration, and a lot of advanced settings that aren't really going to be appropriate to 99% of the installations, but it just shows the flexibility of the configuration for this particular unit. So starting off with the IP and the port, as we showed you earlier on the setup wizard, we always keep the DHCP enabled, because when you plug in your DVR into your router will predefine an address for this particular device. Okay, in this situation it's grabbed the address which is on the top bar. Again, like we said earlier, if you were going to use this in a more commercial environment and your network had quite a lot of different devices on it with preset IPs and port forwarding, you would need to speak to your IT consultants to get them to configure this device on your network, especially if you have firewalls and other security devices in place. The ports in the lower section can be changed. This is to enable port forwarding within your router setup, which again isn't something that you'd really need with this device unless you're in a commercial environment. Because of the peer-to-peer setup, it's very easy with the QR codes, which we'll show you later, to set up the device for remote viewing and to view on your mobile device. But we will run through some of these features anyway to give you a brief demo of them. A DDNS is basically an address that can be set up if you don't have a static IP on your router. So there's various different DDNS types, dynamic DNS, no IP and array. Basically you would have to preset these through the particular DDNS supplier's website and set up a username, a domain name and a password, which would have to coincide with what you're entering on this device and obviously enabling the DDNS. The email side is really an alert feature, so you could set up an email address for notifications for different reasons really, depending on what's gone on. So it could be where the unit's picked up motion detection, for example, i.e. someone's come to the front door. You could get an email telling you that somebody's at the front door, and then through the viewing software you could actually live view and see who that person was, depending on your network speed. So it's a useful bit of information. The P2P again is the peer-to-peer, and using the QR code to set it up. We'll come back to that shortly. The other features on here really are not necessary to be used. These would be features your IT consultant would use in a commercial environment.